Hi friends, I hope this video finds you all well. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today's video, I'm going to be doing my budget forecast for paycheck number 1 for the month of September, which I'm so excited to be in September. It's my birthday month. I am a Libra, which I very much resonate with that zodiac sign. And so before we jump into the video, I do have a word of the month. It's more of something that's like a philosophy or a mantra for myself. I practice yoga and I kind of went to yoga just as a way to de-stress as opposed to going to a therapist. I really enjoy it because it kind of connects my mind and my body and my spirit all into one. And the philosophies that I've been learning in yoga really carry over into my life, or at least I've been trying to incorporate them into my life as well. And one of those is a word which I'm sure many of you have heard. I knew of it before I practiced yoga, but I just didn't understand the true meaning of it. And that's the word namaste. So yoga during our classes, after we've finished our shavasana, which is kind of our closeout where we meditate and relax after all of our work. But at the end, we close class by taking deep breaths. A lot of yoga is breathing to help meditate. And we take a deep breath in and then bring our hands into prayer hands and bring them down to our forehead or our third eye, and then bow our head in gratitude, and then bring our palms down to our heart center and press them into our heart center. And that symbol in itself, in the culture that yoga originated, just that gesture speaks namaste. But in Western culture, we say a lot of words, and so we say namaste as well with the gesture, which when I was kind of thinking about that, I was like, I feel like there's a lot of body language, unspoken body language. So just that gesture speaks that word namaste, and it's so respectful. It's just so beautiful. And sometimes the words that we say don't always match our gestures or our body language or the energy that we're putting out. So that's also something I like to be mindful of, to make sure that all of those things are connected, that my body language and my energy matches the words that I'm saying. So namaste, the reason why I chose that word, so when I choose a word of the month, I kind of meditate on what is my intention going into that month? What do I feel like is keeping me from achieving my goal, which is to be more connected, to kind of slow down on the hurriedness of life, because I feel like sometimes I get caught up in the rat race, the daily grind of things, and too focused on just racing to my next goal rather than taking a moment to pause and enjoy the journey and just be in the moment. So when I'm moving into a new month and choosing a new word, I kind of just meditate and think about what is missing, what is keeping me from maintaining that mindset. And with everything going on in the world, all the craziness, that's kind of been weighing heavy on my heart, the word namaste came to me. And really the true meaning of that word is where you, when you're pressing your prayer hands into your heart center, that's really where your inner light is felt to exist the most strongly. And you're bowing your head as respect and gratitude to say to another person that you are grateful for their light and that you connect with them, that you're not seeing their outer shell and letting your ego decide what your judgment is going to be of that person, whether it's their color, their socioeconomic status, or their beliefs, that deep down your inner light recognizes that it's connected to their inner light as well, and that we are all one. So that's really the philosophy of living with your heart, or connecting to that inner light and kind of letting go more of the ego side of things. And so that was just something I felt like I needed to just to help my heart not feel so weighted down with everything that's been going on around me, to say, you know, I am connected with everyone. We are all connected. We all have an inner light, and I respect everyone's inner light, and that it is beautiful, and to listen to my heart and to meditate and stay connected with that part. So I just wanted to say my word, my mantra going into September is namaste. So namaste to you all, and thank you so much for stopping by today. I'm now going to jump into the paycheck budget sheet. I'll get you guys switched over to my calendar view and we'll get started. Here we are at my calendar view, the month of September. As you can see, our paycheck number 2. We've already been working our way through the weekly check-ins for that. Yesterday I did my week 3 check-in on this paycheck, and my husband and I get paid every other week. There are 2 paychecks in the month of September. Right here, we're starting with paycheck number 1. I'm using my highlighter system that came from the Budget Mom. I am loving it. And I'm just going to draw a cloud over paycheck number 1 and highlight all of the fixed expenses. That's what these are right here. And I use this bills sheet that I put together to help me keep track of those fixed expenses. And paycheck number 1 is going to be covering fixed expenses from September 11th until September 24th. And here's another. So there we go. So we'll just go ahead and highlight all of these in blue. And who is excited for fall, y'all? I am a fall girl. It is my birthday month. I love the colors. I love the season. I am itching to decorate. I think I'm going to be doing that this weekend. But yeah, so shout out to fall. I love it. This is all highlighted. Now we'll go ahead and pull the information into my budget sheet. Here we are at my paycheck budget sheet. This is the workhorse of my budget. I love this sheet because of it just kind of pulls everything onto one view with my different tables. If you guys are liking the look of any of the sheets that you see me use on my videos, I do have an Etsy shop. I'll leave a link to that shop in the description box below. This is paycheck number 1. Again, as I mentioned, it's covering expenses from September 11th to September 24th. Income number 1 is direct deposited on a Thursday. That will be September 10th. And I expect it to be $28.70. Paycheck number 2 is direct deposited on a Friday, and I expect it to be $1,000. Income number 3 should be deposited on the 16th, and I expect it to be $915. Now, we're not expecting any rollover or any extra, but we are leaving that door open to the universe. We're just telling the universe, if you feel like bringing in some extra, go right ahead. Now I will add these together, so $38.70 plus $915. So we're expecting $47.85 for paycheck 1. Next is my fixed expenses over here, and this is where I use that calendar where I've highlighted the different fixed expenses, and then my bills index card where I have the expected amounts in parentheses here. I use these two to help me plug in the date, what the fixed expense is, and how much I expect it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through that. Okay, everything has been filled out. For those of you super observant people, you may have noticed that I did not include the before school check boxes or my babysitter because my husband and I no longer overlap on Tuesdays, so we do not need those services for my daughter. Our before school is listed on Friday because that's normally when they bill us for that, but it is for a Tuesday morning before school program for my daughter. I just left those kind of open. I didn't put them on the paycheck budget sheet, but I'm not sure when that billing auto draft is going to stop. But I did notify the program that she would no longer be coming in on Tuesdays. So these listed here total are fixed expenses, total $1,358.35. Next, we'll come over to our variable expenses. This is where a budget gets very personalized. Just kind of figuring out what your spending habits are. And, you know, my approach to a budget, we're on a debt-free journey, but we are also living our lives, and I want this to be something that is sustainable. To me, it's kind of like how you would approach food, is kind of having a well-balanced, healthy, sustainable budget. So, you know, if you have different hobbies, or if you're, you know, like into planners, into beauty, into outdoor activities, maybe you would have a variable expense category where you're still allowed to spend within that category, but you still give yourself a limit so you're not overspending. So these are our different ones. This is just what we budget for 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks worth, and then this is everyone in our family. We're all listed. My kids with their oh, what is the word for that? Their nicknames. Yeah, these are my kids' nicknames. Most of these came from grandparents, which I love. If you have a nickname or a family nickname that your family calls you, leave it in the description box below. I would love to hear about that. I just think it's so fun. Okay, so this totals $915. Next, before we figure out what we're going to roll over, down here is my sinking funds table, and this is just how I keep track of expenses when I do my weekly check-ins. I have a lot of different sinking funds. I'll link my most recent August sinking fund closeout video in a information card up here, and you can go check out my different categories and kind of how I use my budget sheets to help me close those categories out. But this will be covering week 1 and week 2 check-ins. And then the last table is this debt table down here. I do a quarterly debt and net worth assessment, which I'm going to be doing my first one the end of September. I am super excited. It's quarterly, so it'll give us a 3-month snapshot of how we did. We began our debt-free journey in February of this year, and I did my very first YouTube video the end of June, so that was kind of my first true quarterly and debt and net worth assessment. And I'll leave that video in the description box below if you want to kind of check that out to see where we started. But this is very sparse because I'm still waiting to close out paycheck number 2. These are numbers that are just kind of rolling numbers so that it's easier for me to track the numbers on my paycheck budget sheets, but I update them as a minimum payment is cleared if it's a part of our fixed expenses for that paycheck. And then my husband and I, we are zero-based budgeters, so we take paycheck number 1, roll all of that money into paycheck number 2, just so that we have a cushion. It kind of makes me feel a little more comfortable because of who's to say what's going to happen until the end of the month. So that's just how we do it. And then we use Paycheck 2. And this equation up here, this cash flow, we calculate that, and that money at week 4 check-in for paycheck number 2 is what we use to throw at our debt focus, which is our HELOC currently, because we are using a velocity banking strategy to pay off our debt or any of our amortized one-way interest loans. If you want to see more about that, I will leave that video in the description box below as well. But now we get to see how much money are we rolling over to paycheck number 2. And to do this, I'll take our income, our expected income, which is $47.85, minus our expenses, our fixed expenses, which is $1358.35, minus our variable expenses, which is the $915. So we will be rolling over, or expect to roll over, $2,511.65. So when I do my paycheck number 2 budget forecast, you'll see that I'll circle this rollover, and then in the expected is where I'll put this $2,511.65 and use that to help me calculate our income for paycheck number 2. But that is going to wrap up this video, you guys. This is what we're looking like moving into the month of September. I'm super excited. Bring on the fall. And let me know if you guys have any plans as far as your decorations, if you love fall just as much as I do, how August went for you, and yeah, how your budget's looking. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, and if you're enjoying the contents of my channel, please subscribe. I'd love you to become a part of the family, and I'll be posting a video tomorrow about our groceries, how my family does meal planning, how we've been able to get our grocery budget under control. So I hope to see you all tomorrow.